here. And now we're on air live, so be careful.
Awesome. I just flipped a fan on. Is that making more noise? Is that?
Nope, it's fine.
Oh,
I don't hear it at all.
Awesome.
Live now. That's the one I want. And I got to turn the volume down on that. There we go. All right. So we're live. We're waiting on Patrick to come back, and excuse Patrick because he's going to eat. We've already got a few people in. I can't see how many because, hang on a minute, maybe I can. Right now we only got 5, but I guarantee you once I put this out on Facebook, we'll probably get a few more.
Hey, I'm back.
Hey, it's Pat. We're live, so be careful.
Hi, everybody. Hi, nobody.
Now, we've already got 5 watching. What are you talking about?
Really? Well, 4 of them are us.
No, I haven't given you guys the other link, so that don't count.
We got Daytoni FPV, Dwight Souter, Thomas Elrod, Mike, and Doug Miller.
Awesome.
Cool.
Hello, everybody.
They can watch me eat dinner. What?
Nothing. It's nothing that we won't see again in a couple of days.
Yep.
Me eating dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good at this on the podcast.
Sure now. Yeah, you have done it many times before. I remember one time it was Chinese.
Yeah, it was good Chinese, too.
And Doug Miller saying num, num, num. So, here, let me give you guys the link if you want it so you can go in and see the questions and all that in a different window.
My search foo is at a high level tonight. I'm already there.
We'll see how you are. All right, let me get this. Oh, come on. Why don't I want it?
Be right back in 30 seconds.
Smaller.
I'll be counting.
Okay, that's about as small as we'll be able to make it. There we go.
I got a little potato on my shirt.
No. All right, I think we're good. I guess I ought to go ahead and start recording.
Don't forget to take the lens cap off, Josh.
I'm going to slap you so hard.
There we go. Now we're all good to go.
And just because I don't fly multicopters, I just don't think that, oh, this is part of my checklist. I need to take a lens cap off. Something I have to change for the Corsair.
That was a good landing, too.
That was a good landing. I was so angry that I completely forgot to take the lens cap off.
Yeah, I bet that was pretty disappointing, to say the least.
I was entertained.
Well, you're easily entertained too, Pat.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for Pat.
Not at all.
So as you guys can see, I did get my founder shirt.
Oh, nice.
my hat,
Yeah.
my coin.
Yeah.
These are pretty nice.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
those are, aren't they?
Yeah, they are really nice and heavy and everything. So, yeah, got all that. So
Great.
pleased with that.
Does the hat fit your head well?
Yeah, actually, it does.
Good, because the my flight test hat does not fit my head worth a darn.
Is that one of the older ones?
Yeah, one of the original ones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A little bit.
I got one of those over there. I actually have two of the founders hats.
Did you find a replacement for your hat yet, Patrick?
No, that's why I'm asking about this one.
Okay.
You'll be able to wear this one just fine, Pat.
Awesome. Good. I
Yeah.
need a hat that I'm comfortable in.
Yeah.
It takes many years for me to break in a hat.
So you haven't got your perk yet, Pat?
Now I got a message from Jen Thursday. Said she has it and asked me if I'd be okay if she just handed it to me in person. And I said, yeah, that's great.
Oh, well, there you go.
I
Save
said,
on shipping.
I'm building your chinny. Is it okay if I hand it to you in person?
You gonna fly that one there for her, or is she gonna fly it at FliteFest?
Well, I hope she flies it.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah. I definitely need to give it a test flight beforehand, though. Hopefully that's tomorrow.
Awesome.
Well, there you go.
Are you
Don't-
guys off? Or are you guys? Well, I know Joshua's off this week.
Yep.
For the whole week. Pat, are you off as well?
No, I work from 2 to 11 p.m. tomorrow. So,
Ooh.
yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Ugh.
So hopefully tonight it is like 90% done when I go to bed.
Cool.
Staying up a little late tonight to get it finished.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'll
When
get
are
her
you-
done.
When are you
Oh, I
leaving?
know.
Are you leaving Tuesday? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaving Tuesday.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I can't get out until Wednesday morning, so I'll see you guys early Wednesday afternoon. But
Cool. So you guys aren't traveling together?
No.
no.
We like each other, but
Right. Not that much.
we after we spent 24 hours for Seth together in a car.
That was enough.
No, I'd do it again, but I think we've got different schedules this time, and you're headed up to Pennsylvania to pick up Ben, right?
Yeah. So Ben's flight gets into Pittsburgh Airport at like 1 in the morning. And I
Oh,
said,
my.
Ben, I'm not picking you up at 1 in the morning.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
Sorry,
I said
buddy.
I can probably do like 6. So I'm going to get up at about 2 in the morning on Wednesday and hope to be on the road by about 3, and that should get me to the airport around 6.
Okay.
And it's only like an hour and a half from Pittsburgh.
Right. It's a quick
So-
shot from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So and it's on the it's the west side of Pittsburgh, so it's not going to be a big deal. So
Yeah.
Cool.
I just got to make sure I've got room in the car for all of Ben's stuff.
Yeah, right.
Well, if he's flying, he's not going to have that much.
No, he's not. He does have a box full of something he was going to mail, but he weighed it and he was like, I'm going to check this. It was going to be pretty outrageous to have it shipped with the weight.
Yeah. So,
So I don't know what's in the box, but I'm sure it's going to be something fun.
You mentioned something about a 6S EDF.
Could be.
Okay.
yeah.
That'd be fun.
He's always got some fun thing up his sleeve.
Yeah, he does.
He's bringing that. I can't remember which version of the bee it was, but doesn't he? Wasn't he bringing a?
Yeah, it's his latest version. It's
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, Turbo Bee, I think is what he called it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twin engine 6S monster.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
Stupid.
about this big.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know how he tracks those things, man. I like to fly fast, but that's a whole other level of.
That's fast and tiny.
well. That's
fast,
what
it's tiny. It's,
he's not tracking the visual. I swear he's tracking the noise of it
Yeah.
you almost
because it
have to.
screams.
That boy's got good ears.
He's got better ears than I got eyes.
Starts off small, gets even smaller. I mean, it's never
Exactly.
I don't know how you follow that. So.
Yeah, I was throwing around the Rare Bear today, and it's still a fast airplane for my eyes.
Oh, it's got that high vis orange and purple though. It's
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been to my field, Carl. You know that Rare Bear eats up my field pretty quick.
Yeah, it does. It does. Oh.
Well, I'm officially done dinner, so.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. This is episode 45 of the FliteFest Community Cast podcast. We're here with, of course, Patrick John Murphy. I'm Mike Finley. We have special guest Joshua Orchard, and we have another special guest, which is Carl Lydick. Welcome, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
Always and anytime. And yeah, thanks for being here. I know you guys are really excited about what's getting ready to happen. I'm sorry I'm not as excited as everybody else, only because I'm not going to be there, but I'll be there, you know, in thought in my heart. So,
well, maybe Patrick can put together a flat mic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I should do that.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah,
you should do that.
Absolutely.
Or you can send me a picture of it and I'll print it out huge, like double life size.
Right. Double life size.
On my printer.
I'm 5'7.5".
Okay. All right. So now I know how to calibrate it. All right. All set. Anybody wants to see Mike can stop by my tent.
There you go. I should have sent out the MTH banner.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. We're going to put giant U right out the entrance to wave to everybody as they come in.
Should I take a picture tonight like this and then?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should have Sharon take a full body picture of you, and I'll try to blow it up huge. That way,
actually,
they smack you around and you won't talk back.
With clothes on, please.
We asked with clothes on.
Actually, I could do that right now because hang on a minute. Oh, it's not. Oh, yeah, it's pretty close. That was us standing in the rain the other day.
Oh, right.
They're not calling for rain too much, but yeah.
Well, you know, that would give everybody a thought of being cool anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, it does, Aero Geek. That half-inch does make a difference. And I'll be nice, but I will say that my wife says that half-inch makes a big difference.
Well, to be perfectly honest, Mike, you being wet like that might give people flashbacks or trigger some PTSD symptoms from last year.
Well, that could be. So.
Well, there's still an outside chance, Mike. There's still hope that you could be there.
There's an outside chance that I may be there, but I'm not going to hold my breath and try not to because I just don't see it happening. But you know, again, I'm going to miss you guys something terrible, and I'm going to miss all of our fans and all my other friends and family that are out there. And yeah, we'll just have to deal with it. That's just the way it goes.
It's just me representing the FliteFest Community Cast.
Yes, because Joel's not going to be there either.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I hope I don't offend everyone. Nobody's there to control me.
Take your cards this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do need to do that.
Yeah. I'll remind you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got a whole box of them. They're awesome.
Yeah, you should have a whole box of them. Yeah. You should have 2 boxes of them, I believe.
I think I do. So, what are we talking about tonight? I mean, we're definitely talking about FliteFest that's coming up this week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And we have Joshua and Carl here for a purpose, not just because we randomly selected them out of a hat like we normally do our guests. So, Josh and Carl, you guys explain what you guys are doing this year in terms of your volunteer work.
Sure. You want to take it, Josh?
Sure. We could rock, paper, scissors since we're over video.
No worries.
Yeah. So the volunteer stuff, and Andre's been quite vocal about this on the After Hours podcast. He's basically trying to set up so that he puts himself out of a job. And yeah, it's smart. It really is. The more that he can delegate, the less work it is on him, and the smoother things can run on their own. And it really does make a lot of sense in a lot of different ways. One of the things that they're doing is sort of making people like volunteer leaders for a very vague term over specific areas. And they're called the Flite crew. So they're basically the Andre equivalent, the Andre clones for the different areas.
That's scary.
And Carl and I were selected to be the Flite crew members for the Flite line. So,
which is a good thing.
Yeah,
yes.
Part of the event, really. So
yes. Yeah, I mean the greeters and the parking people, those really are the face of FliteTest and FliteFest, but the Flite line is the heart and soul of the event, and that's really where a lot of things happen and a lot of really great memories happen. And unfortunately, in years past, I know I've complained about it a lot, that the Flite line safety and etiquette and all that stuff is just, it's been out of control.
Yep.
It's been scary at times.
It has. And it's, I mean, I even had a comment on my latest YouTube video today about someone thinking that, oh, I need to pack a hard hat for going up to the Flite line at FliteFest this year. And I'm like, you're not far off, pal.
yeah.
So, I mean, Carl and I have worked with Andre over the past several weeks to come up with a plan, and we think it will work. Carl and I have been to a number of really big events and really safe and successful events. And honestly, a lot of the ideas came from Carl from a couple years ago when Andre was probing his brain about stuff that was going on in 2016. So I don't know, Carl, do you want to go over some of the things that we're trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, well, FliteFest kind of poses its own unique challenges because you go to other events, most people are fly at club fields, they're long-term AMA members. You're more accustomed to flying with a group of people or with a crowd. A lot of folks who are FT fans may fly by themselves in a park, fly with some friends and buddies, but you're not used to flying in big, with loads of other pilots. And frankly, nobody's really. There are no other events with 1,500 registered pilots. This is kind of a unique unicorn of events. This is absolutely huge. So we need to take some cues from some other large events and try to keep the flight line safe. I mean, the big things are all really simple. Communication on the flight line, calling your intentions, those kinds of things. Being aware of your surroundings, flying with spotters. I mean, we can get into all of these individual rules that we're going to be trying to push on the flight line. Most of it is just common sense, though, for event flying, and just being courteous as well. So we've never really had issues with people being courteous, but everybody's excited. Maybe you just run out on the field to grab your airplane after you land. You don't look both ways. You don't call on the field. You don't listen to see if anybody else has called landing. I mean, I have. There's a gentleman out there. I don't know his name, but
how many years have you crashed into him, Carl?
I hit the same guy 2 consecutive years. The first year.
Wow.
The first year I took out his quad with my with a pusher jet, and the second year I literally hit him. I hit him with the Nerdnick's NNP-38. Flipped it with a wing. He got lucky there because it didn't hit a prop. But,
that thing's got some weight to it too.
It did. It was a 5-pound plane, something like that. So yeah, it was. Fortunately, it was coming in for landing. He was, but it's one of those things where because of the size of the event, because of how many people are in the air, he may have called on the field. I know I called landing, but it gets so loud.
There's loudspeakers and there's lots of distractions
on the line that I'm hoping that we'll be able to have them pointed away from the pilots so that you can actually communicate with people up and down the line.
No, that's one of the things that I will be focusing on when I get there Wednesday morning, when they start setting things up, final push to get things ready for the event, that I will be right there front and center on the flight line, making sure everything is set up so that it's as safe as possible for pilots. Because, 1,500 pilots, it's a lot. It's a lot of pilots. But there are 3 fixed-wing flight stations that you can fly at. And there's really no good way to have an open flight line anymore. And one of the things Carl and I are going to be pushing for is to have a closed flight line system during the duration of the event. I know a lot of people are going to be unhappy about that, but we'll see how it goes. For one thing for sure is that the main flight line at Show Central, Carl and I have talked about, we want to try to keep that one closed at all times, because that's where a lot of people are going to be spectatoring, and having just an open flight line there is going to be too dangerous. And we've seen way too many airplanes go out of control, or people just being too excited to be in front of so many people, or be at FliteFest. We have to slow these people down, have to show them the respect that, yes, you're a pilot, but there's all these people behind you, and their safety comes before you being able to have fun with the airplane.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be the biggest cultural shift that we're going to be pushing for this year, is to actually keep people at pilot stations, right? That in the past we've had pilot stations out there, and then you'll get 4 or 5 people between pilot stations to just walk up and talk out. So that's we hate to be pushing on that, but that really is what causes a lot of the safety issues. So,
because the pilots aren't talking with each other, they can't hear each other, and part of it also is that you sometimes have spotters and sometimes you don't. And a lot of times when you do have a spotter, the spotter really doesn't know how to be a proper spotter. And this isn't being said to insult anyone. It's a cultural thing that we have to teach people. We have to show them what these etiquette things are to ensure a safe event. And that's really what our goal is. And
we cover that every morning, and pilots meeting, we're going to be going through making sure everybody understands how to be a pilot and how to be a spotter, what you're actually looking for. So some of the when you're spotting for somebody, you're relaying their communications up and down the line, making sure that the other pilots have heard what your pilot's called out. You're relaying to your pilot what they've called out. Maybe your pilot didn't hear somebody else yell landing. You're looking at the air traffic ahead of wherever your pilot is flying, making sure the runway is clear, those types of things. And you've got your head on a swivel, so you can't be filming, you certainly can't be flying your own plane and spotting for your buddy. So it's
Carl should
co-piloting the aircraft.
Should I give the bad example from Seth?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, even people who fly as often as we do sometimes fall into bad habits. So and that's really all. Carl and I were really excited. He just completed the Hangar 9 P47 Razorback. I'm not sure why I got that wrong. So he had it all ready, and he wanted to do the maiden. And I thought, this is great. And Steph, is a pristine flying site, and they have an open flight line there at that event. It's small enough now that they don't have pilot stations. So I was up at the flight line with Carl, and there were a couple of people there with us, and I was filming. And Carl comes in to land. He's lined up really well. He's right straight down the runway. And I didn't hear that someone had an emergency landing and their airplane was still on the field, and they couldn't move it because that airplane had lost its prop. The prop collet had come off and the airplane couldn't move. And the person was out in the field getting the prop and was on his way back. And Carl clipped this guy's airplane as he rolled into it. And I didn't see it because I was focused on the filming, and I didn't hear it because I was focused on the filming. So really, it's not Carl's fault because he's focusing on the safety of the airplane. It should have been me as the spotter
looking ahead and calling it out for him. So this isn't something like where I'm on a high horse. It's definitely something that everybody needs to just do and take seriously.
Sure. One of the questions that I have for you guys, I mean, even though I'm not going to be there, since you are going to change, at least attempt to change the culture, are you going to have like a place where when people check in as pilots are able to go to and see the rules on a board somewhere, or how's that going to work?
Really, I guess all we have is pilot meetings.
Mm-hmm. Pilot meetings and word of mouth from our volunteers on the flight line.
And that's the other thing I was going to say earlier is that in past years we have great volunteers, but the volunteers at the flight line haven't entirely been trained properly on what to do in terms of flight etiquette and safety. So we've put together a document for those volunteers to refer to review and understand how they can kindly talk to these people and just by word of mouth reinforce good habits rather than perpetuating old ones from old events.
Well, now that's a good thing. If you're at least going to train the volunteers on the flight line and have a document that they can look at and go, see, I'm just trying to enforce what we're trying to do here, and and all that is going to make it much better than hey, don't do that, and then people get upset and all those kind of things. So,
and something that I think we're going to have to do as well is definitely whoever's running the PA system, maybe once in the morning, once right after a combat event, gentle reminders throughout the course of the day. Please be reminded to fly from only a pilot station. Those just those gentle reminders from throughout the day coming from whoever from the flight test crew is running the PA system. We're going to be pushing for some of that as well to help get the word out there. So,
Sure.
And events where they close the flight line is a good time for a reminder because everybody's either watching the event or listening to the announcer.
Yeah.
So,
when like at the end of a combat and people are running out to the field to retrieve their airplanes, it's a great opportunity for everyone who's there watching the combat event to listen to whoever's on the PA system go over a couple of safety things as we get back into open flight pattern.
Yep. Sure.
So being able to try to integrate it rather than force it upon people and people go, oh, another safety briefing. We have to incorporate the safety into the culture rather than force the culture to have the safety.
How many flight lines are there?
3.
3 flight lines. So
3 fixed wing, right? And then you got the 2.
Yes, 3 fixed wing, and then there's the FPV area.
Okay, and how many pilot stations per flight line?
I'm not sure yet. Do you recall if Andre said anything to you, Carl?
I don't recall. They were usually spread out every 10 to 15 feet up and down the line, I want to say. So there's
I think there were. If I recall from years past, they had 6 pilot stations.
It was
flight
5
line?
or 6.
Was it 5?
5 or 6. I can't remember exactly, but it was 5 or 6.
That's a lot per flight line, so that's that's not too bad.
No, it's really not.
About 15 to 20 aircraft in or if it's 5, 15 aircraft in the air at a time. You may have to wait a few minutes, but it's a lot safer for sure.
Right.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, and you have to remember, I mean, most people don't have 25, 30-minute batteries. Most people are going to have anywhere from 4 to maybe 10 minutes at the most.
At most.
Yeah.
10 minutes is a long flight.
Yeah.
And we're one of the things we want to tell our volunteers to also be watchful and mindful of is squatting, because there have been people that have just sort of perpetually been on the flight line for an extended period of time, and we want to discourage that to give other people a more open opportunity to fly.
Yep.
Keep your squatting to the porta potties.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, that was another great idea from Carl. So.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, this kind of sounds like something that we've needed to do for the last few years because, FliteFest is just, I don't want to say gotten out of control, but it sure has outgrown the capability of the volunteers to be able to keep it safe.
Yeah.
So that's
that's
awesome.
I've been one of the most vocal people to complain about the flight line safety in the years past, and that's why I felt like, well, I need to put my money where my mouth is, and that's why I volunteered to do this, because it's an important aspect to me. I want everybody else to go home with their families with all of their digits.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody going home with eye patches, maybe a Band-Aid for doing something boneheaded, but certainly not losing, something significant, or even stitches. It's just not worth it. It really isn't.
But they're Princess Band-Aids, so.
Yeah, well, I personally prefer Care Bears.
Care Bears, princesses, Hello Kitty, whatever. It all works. If Ryan, I believe Ryan will be there, so I'm sure they'll have.
He's going.
Yeah, they'll have some Hello Kitty stuff there, I'm sure, because he loves to do that. So, but yeah. So,
Carl, are there any other points that we should immediately bring up before we get sidetracked in anything else?
Well, I just to ask people to bear with us. And how about put it this way? You guys seen Roadhouse, the old Patrick Swayze movie?
Yeah.
I have
picture Patrick Swayze as a bouncer, right? He's given a lesson to the other bouncers, and you approach the table. You be nice. If there's a problem, come get me. We'll go and we'll both be nice. Well, we're going to ask everybody to be very nice about the way that they ask our Flightline volunteers, right? Everybody's going to be super polite. We're going to be, please be patient with us. We'll be patient with you, but we are going to have to make these corrections. We're going to have to, in years past, when somebody wasn't flying from a pilot station, I would walk up, I wait for them to land, and then I point out that they shouldn't be flying from there. This year, I'm going to ask you to land, and I'm going to stand there and wait for you to land. I'm going to walk you out off the flight line, and politely, of course. But we have to. When people see other people breaking the rules with no consequences, then that's why it devolves into that free for all so quickly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, unfortunately, and I don't enjoy this, but we're gonna have to do that. Otherwise, we'll lose control of it. So please be patient with us. We're not asking you to land because we're killjoys. We want to be up there flying too, but just be patient with us, and we'll be as patient as we can with everybody there. So.
Yeah, and to add to that, I know that in discussions online about the idea of not making it an open flight line, a lot of people have been really, really upset. They say, oh, well, it's not going to be FliteFest if you don't have an open flight line. And I absolutely understand where you're coming from. I really, really do. But you have to understand that FliteFest is a completely different event now than it was even 2 years ago.
Yep.
Even 2 years. I mean, it is so much exponentially bigger that we cannot keep doing the same thing. Someone will get absolutely seriously hurt. Even during the world record attempt that we did, I saw an airplane crash into the side, into the temple of a pilot's head. And I do not want that to happen this year. I don't want anything like that to happen this year. And I really want everyone to come away with lessons learned for a safe flight experience, and them to also feel that this is a new, secure place where they can have their kids. They can feel safe with their kids.
Yep.
I just want their kids to be safe. I want them to be safe.
Now, and I want to point out too, and maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but I'm cutting my head off here. If you're out there and you're hearing this or listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble if like, I don't know, I lose control of my plane and it crashes or it goes outside of the flight line. And no, you don't want your plane to go outside of the flight line, but things happen. I mean, like Josh, you and I were hit by a flying wing a couple of years ago,
we sure were.
2 blocks off of.
Yeah, no, it was that happened well
But-
behind the build tents and
Yes.
behind the vendors. I mean, this was
Yes.
not, right across the flight line. This was like many school bus lengths.
Right. But the thing is, sometimes you're going to lose control. You might get a glitch with your radio, and stuff like that happens. I mean, don't be overly nervous about going and thinking that you're going to be judged on what happens, or somebody's going to come and berate you
no.
because
No,
something
no.
like that. No. We're just trying to reduce the risk of people getting hurt.
Yeah.
Well, and the biggest problem you have is I imagine this year is going to be the biggest. What did you say? There's 1,500 plus pilots
I would say
registered
yes.
this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 1,500 people can't get in the air at the same time anyway. So
No.
just again, reiterate, just be courteous to everybody. Think about what's going on. Think about, what you're doing and everything, and just keep everybody safe. I mean, that's all anybody wants. It's just so many people, and it is difficult to control that many people and to have it as safe as you can without some rules in place.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
The way it works very easily is if everybody adheres to the policies that are in place and that are, in the end, good practices that should be adhered to, especially in an event of this size.
Yep.
Yeah. And
But-
one of the new things that you'll hear at FliteFest this year will be air horns. I personally went out and purchased air horns for each flight line to have, and one of the volunteers who will be designated to be watching for takeoffs and landings and things like that, they will have the air horn and they will sound it if there is an immediate danger for you to look up, because I want people to have that instant reaction of hearing that sound and looking up and avoiding anything that's coming to them. And again, it's for everyone's safety. It's not just as a liability thing for flight tests. It's so that everyone can go home in one piece.
So something else that we're going to be doing. Well, in years past, the Flightline crew has always helped out new pilots with pre-flight checks. Yeah, if you got a plane you need a mate and something like that. This year, we're also going to be taking an extra close look at all the sketchy big builds coming out of the Big Ten, doing a pre-flight check of some of those larger aircraft that have been built on site, kind of as a prerequisite, right? You're gonna have to have your plane looked over. I mean, I think Josh and I haven't really talked about this, but I mean, we're not going to stop sketchy stuff from flying. We're just going to make sure that your control horns are hooked up right. Your motor mount's not going to pull loose from the plane. Your prop is tightened, right?
Your aileron deflections are correct.
Yeah, your plane's not going to disintegrate in the flight line and come or those types of things. A basic look at the CG to make sure that looks about right. Your plane's not doing a loop right off of it and going back into the stand. So we're going to be asking, as people approach with these big projects out of the build tent, we're going to say, stop, hold on a second, let's take a look at it. Let's make sure this looks airworthy-ish, right? And we'll go from there.
And we're okay with ish. We really are.
Yeah, because we like to see carnage as well as anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. and that's the point of FliteFest. You go there and you build something and you make a memory. And we're not trying to stop those memories from happening. We're just trying to make them good memories instead of tragic ones.
Traumatic memories.
Yeah.
Hey, on an aside here, Josh Finn was at my house a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And one of the things that he gave me was this. Can you see that?
Barely.
You see how thin that piece of balsa is?
Oh, that's a piece of balsa.
That's a piece of balsa.
Was that 1/64th?
Dude, no, this is not. This is like, I don't know, microns maybe. It's crazy. No, way less than 1/64th. I mean, like, you can see through it, literally. Like here, I'll put it over the Curtis on the tail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Finger in the way. Sorry, just an aside. So as I was sitting here and you were talking and I was trying to cut out my tail here, I broke off the little piece that goes underneath. So I came up with a little clever solution of I'm going to make a hinge out of this really thin balsa.
Well, squirrel moment for you.
Thank you. Sorry. Carry on. Back to your regularly scheduled program.
Well, we had somebody in the chat, just saying, says, yeah, but that's why we fly foam bore smallish electric planes. It's inherently safe-ish. That's why, it's cheap and it's a much more relaxed atmosphere. Look, we don't have a problem with the more relaxed atmosphere, but we still have to be safe. And even those small planes. I mean, one of the problems you have is if you're a pilot out on the flight line, and if everybody's out there flying crazy and all that, I'm going to be, if I'm the pilot, I'm going to be worried about somebody crashing into my head. So how well am I going to be a pilot?
Well, and as someone who has taken a Hobby King Mini Super Cub to the temple, I can tell you it hurts, even though it's a tiny light airplane.
Yeah, and that's why they're doing it, just so it's just going to be inherently safer, and I don't think there's going to be as many crashes that way. At least crashes in the people for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I have no doubt there will be many crashes because there's going to be a lot of new pilots there, and not that we discourage or scoff at crashes at FliteFest anyway.
No,
it's just
we laugh at them, but that's
everybody laughs.
That's
at
the
them,
fun.
But, you're laughing at the crash, not the person.
Right.
And what we're trying to foster is having a safe atmosphere for you to do those crashes where you can crash and you're not going to hurt a person, because it's all about learning. If you can't make mistakes, you're not going to learn. And that's why we're saying we like carnage, we like the sketch factor, we like ish, but we also need to go about it in a more responsible way.
Right. There are so many people that just, even if you call on the field, there are so many people, there's so much noise going on. You are not likely to see that if you're not likely to hear it unless somebody's standing very close to you if you're flying the plane.
Yeah, two pilot stations down, you're not going to hear it.
No,
exactly. That's why the pilot stations need to move together more.
And that's why you need a spotter to make you aware of it.
Make
I mean, there are really young kids running out onto that field like almost constantly. And that's fine if they're going to go get what they crash, but it's also a very dangerous situation.
It really is.
If it's an open flight line, if you got 30 people in the air at once.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, there will still be the combats. There'll still be all those things, and those will be, handled a little differently. Because you're going to have so many people in there, you're not going to have regular pilot stations at that point, I'm sure. But I'm sure there will be safe distances that everybody's going to be flying away from the crowd and away from all the pilots and all that. So, you're still going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. If you'll allow me just a minute here, I'd like to read one section of the instructions that we're giving out to our volunteers.
Absolutely.
It's all about the flight line etiquette. Their instructions are: you should encourage, remind, and be mindful of flight line etiquette. Some basic points are outlined below. Calling out intentions such as taking off with direction, landing with direction, low pass, high speed pass, giving right-of-way to landing aircraft, and people on or off the runway or field. Retrieving a downed airplane in the field or on the runway should be swift to allow other pilots a spot to fly. Do not allow another pilot in a station while another pilot retrieves their aircraft. Encourage the downed pilot to swiftly retrieve their aircraft so that others can safely fly after announcing on the field, or other pilots and spotters announce off the field when cleared. Any disagreements, arguments, or conflicts should be taken off the flight line immediately and alerted to the on-duty flight crew member.
There'll be a boxing ring set up.
Yes, with gummy bears.
Yeah.
Ensure that pilots are removing all items from the flight line. Chairs, radios, or any other obstruction should always be clear of the runway. Discourage squatting of pilots so that others can fly. And that's it. That's all the instruction that they have on etiquette. So it's not like we're being super meticulous. We're just encouraging some basic courtesy to help others communicate effectively so that people are safe.
Absolutely. Really important stuff and easy stuff.
Yeah, easy stuff.
Yeah, we need to talk to the guys out at FliteTest about maybe getting some of those big blow-up sumo outfits that people can put on if they have a disagreement.
That'd be awesome.
That would be fantastic.
Might be
Oh
the
my
safest way to retrieve
gosh.
the plane.
You know, I'll tell you guys. A couple of years ago, when I had my big blow up about the flight line safety, I got into an argument with a gentleman there, and it was basically a disagreement over semantics. And after the event, we were able to resolve things. And I'm sad that I did not get a chance to catch up with this gentleman last year, but I hope I can this year. And I really want to give him a big hug because we are kids at a kid event, and I understand that disagreements will happen. And I'm not saying that none are going to happen this year. Surely there is bound to be some disagreement. We're humans, we're people. But I do want to encourage people to voice their opinions because, again, this is the first time we're trying to enforce structure on the flight line. We're not expecting it to be perfect. We're expecting it to be an improvement in safety. That is all.
I hear you. That's, and we want everybody coming to understand that. And hopefully there is some, I guess, awareness of it when they get there.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Carl's saying, by doing some of the announcing, incorporating it into the event, hopefully it will not be some big imposition and some, dramatic shift in culture.
Yeah. Is there going to be more than one pilot meeting a day, or is this just going to be one?
Currently on the schedule, I think there's just one. Is that correct, Carl?
Yeah, there's just one. I guess my thought is that we're going to use those frequent announcements after the combat events, after any displays. Those we're going to be either Joshua or myself is going to be standing next to Stefan with with a bug in his ear. Hey, talk about the flight lines again. Talk about the spotters again. So we're going to be using that really as a gentle reminder throughout the day. If it looks like we could squeeze in a second pilot meeting sometime after lunch after a combat, and I'd say after the first day, if it looks like we need that, then I bet they would work with us to do that. But right now, it's only the one.
Well, and the only reason I even ask or say that is because I know in years past, including last year, they'd have a pilots meeting at 8 or 9 in the morning. And of course, people are already flying or they didn't get there, especially the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Most of the people didn't get there until after the meetings was already over with. So they had
guy slept through it.
Or some people sleep through it, or some people do miss it, or what have you. I mean, I'm just trying to think outside the box a little bit because I do feel bad for people that may not get there until, let's say, Friday at noon, or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they don't.
That's a good point. Really,
it's a point well taken. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's helpful for those people, just to, and that's why I was asking, maybe because I know we have talked about this more than 1 year about doing something better for the flight line. And that's why I was asking about maybe a dry race board or something to where there's a list of things to do.
Well,
I like things to do better than things not to do because positivity is much better than negativity. So
absolutely.
The term changing the culture has been tossed about a lot, but in reality, these have been set in place ever since the first flight test or FliteFest. They just haven't been enforced or haven't really been respected. There have been pilot stations. The pilot meeting has addressed etiquette and on the field, off the field, landing, spotters. It's just a matter of really enforcing it now.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
In a good way, in a nice way.
Well, it may have to be in a stern way once in a while, and people are going to have to understand that too.
Yeah.
So,
well, hopefully not too often.
Well, I'm hoping not, and generally everybody there is wanting to have a good time, so it's usually all good. But once in a while, things get out of hand. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll try not to argue with you.
Well, I really don't have anything really else to say. I think all the major points have been hit. Looking over all the notes that Carl and I have put together, you guys get the gist of what we're trying to go for. We do have a structure set for pilot meetings. We're going to have safety reports and weather reports and all the other stuff that Carl has talked about. I'm ready to move on to something a little more lighthearted. How about you?
Cool.
Absolutely. So, although I will just say we just got a comment saying, "What if there was a stage, drama to get the point across?" I kind of like it. I think Pat ought to be the guy causing the drama.
I'm good at that.
Somebody gets carted off the field in an ambulance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get Baloo to beat him up or something.
It would be really great if we had Ben Greenwalt there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
And Joel. And Ben Greenwalt can pick up Joel and throw Joel around.
Absolutely. That would be fantastic.
Sadly, neither of them will be there this year.
I know it's sad.
All right, let's get off the sadness. Let's talk about what people are bringing that they can talk about. Carl, why don't you tell us what you're kind of bringing along?
Good stuff.
I've got a lot that I'm bringing. Hopefully, I get to fly all of it. I'm bringing some old beater planes that are an old P-51 for putzing around. Finally, going to do some night flying through some LEDs on I've never been night flying before, so through some LEDs on an old Cub the other day, and we're going to fly that around.
Nice.
So a plane I built 10 years ago. It's this dual 70 millimeter EDF Su-37.
A 37.
Yeah, it's a pretty sizable plane. The old 70 mil, 10 years ago, EDFs have come a long way, right?
Yep.
So, and when I built this, I did everything wrong. It is not how I would build it today, but it's been hanging up in the shop, taking up space. And a couple months ago, I slapped in 2 new Dr. Mad Thrust fans, and it should be about 400 watts per pound now. So I'm hoping,
which is more than the Bugatti. Okay.
So yeah, and it took a 4S 10,000 to balance it, but we're gonna see how it flies if it still flies. It hasn't flown in probably 7 years. So
I thought for a second there you were going to say your Tomcat.
Oh, the Tomcat. No, I want to bring that.
Yes.
There's just that's basically half the trailer by itself, right? That is
it's a big beast.
It is kind of silly.
It is not silly.
No, it's silly.
How dare you?
It's silly.
That's another one where I would do a lot of stuff differently today. But
the fiber optic instrument panel is silly.
Yeah, that was fun.
So you doing that one next year, Josh?
If I don't get that one airborne in the next year, I'm going to bring it to the next FliteFest with motors, and I'm going to recruit people in the build tent, and we're going to do something.
Awesome.
Because that's been sitting around too long too. But so I'm bringing the Su-37. I'm bringing a P-47, and I'm bringing the big P-40. It's all ready to go.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll be just looking for the right time to do that. That's my. It's a big foam plane. It flies light. With something that big, though, my only worry is somebody running out onto the flight line when I'm landing or taking off. That's my nightmare scenario for something like that.
Yeah.
But But yeah, no, I mean it flies really well, and I'm getting the landing down. So for something that light, so yeah, it should be fun. And that's I'm bringing Rocky Boys to drone from last year's international air races.
Oh,
Pylon racing, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm bringing that one back out too.
Is
Because that plane flies sweet.
It does, yeah. He had a really good design there, so I'm looking forward to flying that one again. So that's all I'm bringing with me.
Is he coming this year?
He is.
Okay.
I think he's going to be kind of on an abridged schedule. If I remember right, he had to he might be getting in on Friday and leaving on Saturday or something. Like getting in early Friday and leaving late Saturday.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be I don't know his exact, but I feel like it was going to be shorter than he wanted it to be.
Okay.
But
yeah. I was under the impression he wasn't coming, but okay.
Maybe I'm mistaken now. The last I had heard that he was going to be there. Yeah.
Well, I hope I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
I'd love to see John again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's actually our local club's president. So he keeps very busy with RC stuff here. He's got that big Focke-Wulf bomber that he's building. I can't wait to see. So,
yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
what about you, Josh? What are you bringing?
Yep.
Airplanes.
Airplanes.
No
I bet I know one that's coming.
Yeah, I'm bringing half of a CUDA.
Which half? The front side, back?
I'm bringing the right half. The wrong half got a little banged up in Georgia.
Okay.
So yeah, the CUDA. I finally got it down. I guess last week, and the left wing panel just is beyond safe repair. So I got in touch with Lane, and he's going to have a wing kit for me to pick up at FliteFest. So I'm going to build a wing. I'm going to night fly. So Carl and I are both going to have our first night flying experience this year. That's
nice.
That's my goal. Other than that, if I have room in the car, again, I'm trying to keep space open for Ben. I might throw in the Rare Bear. I might just throw in my powered glider. Just, cause. Anyway, the other two airplanes that I will definitely be bringing are my Ever-Soaring Models SBD Dauntless.
Ah, that's a pretty one.
Yeah, and I did manage to finish my bomb trapeze for it. So I'm looking forward to testing that. I haven't tested it at all. So see if it works.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that you didn't like my water balloon idea.
The water is heavy, man. Water is really heavy stuff.
I know. 8 pounds a gallon or so.
Yeah. So
8.34, baby.
Not to mention if it hits somebody. Oh man,
Well,
that's not a good
that's
example.
the whole idea.
No,
It's a dive bomber.
Yeah, on the field, not over the people.
No, no, that's
Anyway.
We're talking to the safety guy. Like,
Exactly.
come on,
I'm trying to keep the facade. Don't make me break character. Yeah, so the Dauntless is definitely coming, and last of all, but certainly not least, is the Corsair.
There you go.
Yeah. Now you said you're bringing that for display, so you're saying you're not going to fly it there?
Oh no, I'm absolutely going to fly it there.
Oh, good. Good.
Man,
You're
killing me.
Why?
Because I want to see that airplane.
Oh, it is so cool. Everything on it moves.
I know.
Everything. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I did do a full systems check. I got all of the both of the air cylinders replaced on the retracts.
Oh, what was the issue?
Oh, so the issue, it's really cool. So the robot retracts that I got there, the 95-degree rotating retracts, specifically for the Corsair, the Top Flight Corsair. But the ones that I got were secondhand, and they were, I guess, one of the earlier versions. So the cylinders themselves are like an ABS plastic, and then the caps on the ends are like friction fit, and those were aluminum. Well, over the years, the plastic had slightly stretched, and there were leaks between that cap, the aluminum cap, and the plastic cylinder.
Okay.
So when I went on the website to look for replacement cylinders, I looked at the exact model of retracts that I have, and I thought, those are all aluminum cylinders. I bet they realized that this was a potential design flaw. So I ordered the new cylinders, and yeah, they're all aluminum now, and they have no leaks. They operate perfectly, absolutely perfectly.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah,
So, Pat,
Yes, sir.
what are you bringing?
Okay. I'm bringing the one I'm building at the moment.
Yeah, that's a gift.
Yeah,
What
that's
is that?
That's Curtis Jenny for Jen, and Stephen Rosa made skins for it, and it's going to be real pretty. Just it's an airplane. It's it's got parts and stuff. I've spent so much time. There's too many parts to cut out. I wish the guy that designed this had thought this through a little bit better. Maybe.
Well, he probably had one or two squirrel moments.
And he probably had some beer too.
No.
And funny thing is, okay, so I built the first one, and I knew there were some details in the plans that I hadn't included, and it got to the point where I'll just work it out, and then I'll go back and update the plans. Well, guess what? I never did. I never went back and updated the plans. So now all these little details, like the notch for the wing on the fuselage, I never did incorporate into the plan. So now I'm doing it, by hand again.
On the fly.
On the fly. Anyway.
Unintended.
Yes. So, but if this plane flies like the first one, I am so proud of this airplane. It flies. It's just beautiful, beautiful flying little airplane. So I'm bringing that to give to Jen. What else? I'm definitely bringing a Radian, because you can't go to FliteFest without a Radian.
I can.
Well, I'm sorry, Josh. I think I'm going to bring the Corsair behind me. That's I don't know. It's not hobby. Is it hobby zone, park zone? One of the zones.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the park zone. Anyway, I'm going to bring that. I think I'm going to bring the Dauntless that I bought from Josh.
That's a sweet flying plane.
Oh, it is. It is a sweet flying airplane, and fast too. A little out of scale for a guy like you. That's why you sold it, I guess. And I'm going to bring the Bloody Wonder. It's pretty ragged out. Bloody Wonder that actually Josh Bixler built, and I have it now. I don't want to say he gave it to me. Eric Monroe gave it to me via Josh Bixler. But I'm going to fly that into combat this year, because I have yet to fly into combat at FliteFest. All these, I've been there every year and have yet to fly into combat. And Josh, you can probably help me make this decision. I'm considering bringing the Texan.
Yes. Even if you only leave it out for display.
Yeah. And what do you think about these packs?
I have one of those packs. I never tried to fit it inside the fuselage.
I did. It fits.
Well, if she fits, she sits.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got two of these, so I'm bringing those along.
Yeah, we'll check the CG on it, man.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Carl, you can bring your Vanessa rig?
I can if you need it.
Nah, I think we'll be right. But that was a really cool video. If anybody's listening to this, go onto YouTube. Are you under Wilm Racer or
Wilm Racer? Yeah, WILM Racer.
Okay, and he's got some nice videos on there. His latest was a Vanessa rig CG balance thing. I'd never seen one of those. Mm-hmm. Very cool, dude.
Yes. Yeah, really cool.
So I think I've covered everything. I'll probably throw something silly in at the last minute.
Yeah, that'll be the driver.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. my storch, you guys. My storch is it's a little beat up, but it in terms of the repairs that it needs, very little. I could have it flying again in probably 10 minutes worth of time. So I might throw that in the truck and bring that along.
That'll work.
Too. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's it.
So Adam says he's going to miss us all. Adam
He's
Grant.
going to England.
Yeah. He's going to go to England and watch some soccer/football. Football.
Yep. He's going over there. They're going to visit his grandfather's air base.
Yeah.
That his grandfather flew out of.
Cool.
Yeah. His grandfather, I believe, was B-17 crew pilot, I think. Yeah.
My grandfather as well. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research on them lately. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of old things that fly, I see they have the Horton 229 out on display on the floor at Udvar Hazen now.
Yes,
indeed they do.
Yeah. Good excuse to go back.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Carl lives like 5 minutes away.
Yeah. I love it, man. Yeah, when it's too hot or it's rainy and I've got the kid for the afternoon, sometimes we just slide over there and go look at the airplane.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
You got to do something.
Great.
So, but
Great.
yeah, no, it's good. The archives are actually open to the public, although you got to make an appointment. So if you've got something you're researching, you can go in there and dig into the Smithsonian's archive and
For free.
For free.
Yeah.
That's
whatever
fantastic.
you want on pretty much every aircraft.
And not only that, they'll you tell them ahead of time what you want to see, and they'll get it ready for you.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So I've got an appointment to look at some stuff on my grandfather's history there, and it's amazing that they will help you with that, and that's a resource out there for us.
What a service!
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're great people there.
The only thing they charge for are like copies, right?
Yeah, you pay for copies. Yeah.
Right.
So,
But
I believe if they do have scans to get a copy of those scans, I think you are also charged for those too.
yes.
Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're maintaining all this stuff. They're helping you find it. It's absolutely worth paying for the paper and the toner, right? I mean, that's
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, we're talking for many airplanes like complete sets of engineering drawings and manuals.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome stuff.
No kidding. So, Carl, you're leaving Wednesday morning.
Yep.
Josh, you're leaving Tuesday morning.
Wednesday early morning, like 3 a.m.
Yeah. And Pat, you're leaving
Tuesday, as soon as I can get the truck packed and myself together. So Tuesday. Yeah, and probably I'm thinking 11 o'clock more realistically. I'll be out there probably around 4 or 5. I think I'd like to get there by 3, but I don't know. I'm not. There's no reason for me to push it.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually saw Austin was actually setting up some stuff out there today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were getting the tent up. One of the tents, anyway.
I'm really interested to see this this runway.
Yeah.
Thing
that looks really interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, that you should bring the Bugatti and fly off of it.
Well,
That's another discussion.
yeah.
Have you flown that much?
I have not flown it since FliteFest last year.
Oh my!
I tried and broke 4 props in the process. So I do have 4 more props, 6 more props, 6 more props. But no, if you go into the forum thread, there are some thoughts there that I've had about the Bugatti. It's just
scary.
Well, it's the center of gravity issue. And
the landing gear placement.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to it. I mean, the reality is that she is a sweet flying machine, but in order to get her there, it's not practical the way she's set up. If she were a full-scale airplane and you had a nice smooth runway, yeah, she'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But as it is, it's a problematic model. I built it to scale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's on sort of on the back burner. I mean, there's so many things that I can build next, and that's what I love about FliteFest. You know, I get with all these buddies and friends and stuff, and they sort of help me decide for me what I'm gonna build next.
Yeah.
So, Carl, I don't know how much you want to talk about it. If you want to say nothing at all, that's totally fine. But
No, we
know.
another big build in the works that Josh and I have been talking about, and well, I've already kind of mentioned something about my grandfather, but the B-17. So we're going to do a big one of those. But
Wow.
we'll get into that, really detailed once all the parts are around, and once FliteFest is out of the way. And I have an agreement with my wife that certain airplanes will be gone before I start the B7, the big B-17.
Well, if you need somebody to help you clean house,
Yeah.
well, it's not that far of a drive for me, buddy.
No, specifically, it's the Tomcat. The Tomcat has to go. Yeah.
Now, and this has nothing to do with B-17. She just has a bad taste in her mouth about that airplane.
She was super patient with me when I started building a 90-inch long F-14 in a 2-bedroom condo, but and that was 8 years ago. So the fact that it still hasn't been finished now that we're in a house with a shop and everything, she hates that every time she looks. It has to go before I start something else really big.
I went down to Carl's place to fly once, and she was like, "So are you going to help Carl get rid of that F-14?" and then I'm back at his house to drive down to Seth, and she's like, "Are you going to help him do something about that F-14?"
And now she doesn't like Josh.
I just told her I will do whatever he wants me to do.
Well, that's another one where a lot of stuff would have been done differently, and the landing gear on that is going to be it's the same thing with the P-40. That rotating landing gear, that rear rotate, just a pain, right? You guys know what I had to do with the P-40 and go out and get the Robarts, get the right ones. I mean, I'm not going to do that for a plane that I'm going to fly once.
Yeah.
So that may very well be a FliteFest type thing where it takes off on the top of a golf cart, or we'll figure it out, but it will fly. So.
Cool.
Or it will attempt to fly.
and I'll just say that Carl is undertaking this B-17 project with some fantastic family history on the subject, and there's absolutely no way that I want to take any stage time from him and his project, but I will be building a fighter escort.
Oh, nice.
To go along with it.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see that. It's going to be very, very cool. So.
I hear maybe a red tail coming down the pipe.
It will be a P-51.
Will it be a red tail?
To be determined.
Oh, okay.
We have to do a little research on what divisions were flying escort for them.
There's that. So again, there are details that need to be worked out at FliteFest, not just between me and Carl, but between someone else and me.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically Eddie Black. Eddie really likes Mustangs, and I'm just like a Mustang is a Mustang is a Mustang. I've seen Mustangs so many times. I really don't want to build a Mustang, but I really want to build a Mustang to go with Carl's airplane. I think it would be just a nice accent on the side to a stunning story and project.
And you're talking to scale, of course.
Roughly to scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not because he wouldn't, but it's because I don't have the stones to go as big as we would have to
get.
make it work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
you're talking a difference of what, 2 feet, Carl?
Oh,
Oh wow.
It may be more than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an extra 2 to 3, maybe 4 feet. I don't know. It's big.
Big.
So,
Real
Big.
So, are both of these going to be completely scratch built?
well, for my part, I have plans that I'm going to heavily modify and then use a couple of weird techniques. So I'm going to say yes, but yeah, I'm getting some fiberglass parts for some ball supply ones that are the same size. So I'm cheating on in a few places, but it's going to be at least bashing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And mine is a top flight kit.
Probably mostly bashing, though, right, Carl?
Probably what bashing?
Mostly bashing.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely.
So is that the top flight kit the 65?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the golden. It's the same one that you have.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have that kit.
Yeah. If you want to build it along, and we'll have 2 fighters, that'd be awesome.
I can't live up to your detail.
So don't.
Yeah.
You know I won't judge you.
In the air, it won't matter.
That's true.
Won't at all, yeah.
The way I build is the way I love to build. If someone wants to build something different, that's totally awesome. It's their jam.
So what you're saying is the top flight gold P51 is going to be close to scale to this B17.
Yes.
See, Patrick is working out the math right now.
I'm thinking this is going to be a monstrous airplane.
Here in a little while.
I'm not opposed to this. So it'll be 138 inch.
Oh my!
Oof, nice.
But yeah, we're getting into trying to figure out how to make all the details that we want to do and all the extra features and figuring. Actually, I picked up. You guys remember Damon Atwood, the guy with the super giant planes and the 3D printed engines and stuff?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I got his CAD files for the engine, and I'm holding one of the cylinders here.
Okay.
This is the 3D printed. This is Pratt & R2801 errors and heads and stuff. They are really, really detailed
Nice.
engines. So this one is larger than I'm doing this as like just a desktop model to learn how he puts it together. But we're going to have those those for extra detail for the engines and functional bomb drop, a bunch of stuff that we want to cram in there, as well as some other neat features. So, but yeah, I'm not allowed to start just yet. We got to wait a little. Got to get rid of that F-14 first, and then we can start rolling.
There will be lots and lots of details to come. This is not going to be a 1-year project.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like this could be a 2 to 3 year project.
Yeah.
Most likely.
It will be an exceptional project, though. I'm telling you right now, Carl is planning this right, and you guys all know how big I am on planning. He's doing a bang up job. So this is something to really, really watch for. It's going to be special.
Josh, you had mentioned that I had a family history. My grandfather was a B-17 pilot, and he flew 33 missions, and this is going to be the plane that he flew on his last mission. And I have all the details. It's amazing the details you can get about all of everything's been declassified, right? So we know the target, the primary, secondary targets, how much ordnance they dropped. The records of these things, of these missions, are incredibly detailed. So, this actual aircraft, he transferred out, and a couple months later, it got hit by flak, blew a hole the size of a Jeep in the side of it, and it still managed to make it back, land safely, got patched up, and given to the lots to fly for a while. There's an amazing history for this particular plane. So,
wow.
I'm really excited to try to do it justice. My uncle, I've still got family that are excited to see it. So, yeah, no, it's going to be time consuming, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's kind of, I've been putting this build off. I always known I wanted to do it, but I feel like now I can do it justice. So, and I know Josh was going to be looking over my shoulder, making sure I don't skip any corners.
Are you gonna let him apply rivets?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a rivet party.
We talked about that at Ceph. We're gonna have like a weekend-long rivet party.
Yeah,
Rivet sleepover.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a full weekend,
Mhm.
and
I've
hopefully you
been
got
doing
one
some
too.
research. I saw one that was close to the same size, and at least the guy's note said it was something close to 200,000 rivets that he had to do. So,
Oh my gosh!
yeah, I'm not going to count, but that's going to take a while.
Yeah, that'll take a little while.
Just so you guys have a frame of reference, the Top Flight Corsair, all the rivets on that airplane took me 9 hours to do.
Oh man!
And there's lots of them.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
So there'll be more tour on that, but I'm excited about it. So yeah.
That's a project I'll follow because I'd like to know the history as well. So
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Seriously, like it. If you're not subscribed to Carl's YouTube channel, do it.
yeah.
Do it now, because I'm telling you, what Carl's planning is it's going to be some really fantastic stuff, and I'm absolutely elated for him, because if I had this as part of my family history, I would be like jumping up and down for joy all day long.
Wow.
And he's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to build this airplane, and I'm going to try. And
It definitely consumes a lot more of my brain power than I should let it right now. I've spent a lot of time thinking about it, but yeah, no, it's time to do this one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Maybe after you finish this project, I'll finally get the courage to do my favorite airplane.
Ooh.
Yeah. I've tried.
I think I know.
I've never tried because I've never thought I would be able to do it justice, but I don't know.
What is Josh's favorite airplane?
Well, we know he has an affinity for dive bombs. So,
Oh, I know what it is. Yep, that gave it away.
okay. That's all I'll say.
Yep.
But
We'll see. I've got several kits in the garage that I need to get built.
mhm.
So I can do those while Carl builds his B-17.
Yeah, you can have all those complete.
You're still pecking away on one airplane. He's calling you slow, Carl.
That's just fine. This might not it might not be the right time to start a big build like this with a 2-year-old at home and everything, but we're gonna do it anyway.
All right. No time like the present.
You may be able to get his help before it's finished.
That's
Exactly.
right. 130 inches. Dang.
It's a big one.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty fantastic, and I'll just say it right now. I mean, thanks to your grandfather for his service.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
He was quite proud of it, and
As he should be.
absolutely.
yeah, he's absolutely a fascinating man, and just in general. But it's you guys will see the thread. I'll go into too much detail there when we start doing the history of the plane. But yeah, it was very cool to. It's been really neat for me to kind of catch up on, because I always knew he was a B-17 pilot, but to read about the missions and the guys he flew with, the people who did and didn't make it, and it's very cool. It's fascinating. So.
Oh, I bet it was somewhat exciting to actually see, your grandfather that you knew and all that, be written about and all those kind of things. I can't even imagine what that would be like,
No, it's really, really quite amazing. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Something else.
But yeah,
So what else do we want to talk about?
Well, I was just going to say that this is one of the things that I love about FliteFest. It's not just about flying the airplanes or building stuff at the event. It's talking with all your buddies.
Absolutely. That's the best part.
and these kinds of projects are things that come up where we're egging each other on. You could build that twice as big, you know.
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of it. You know, you challenge each other to do stuff. Maybe it's out of jest, maybe it's in seriousness, but you know, the brotherhood that comes from it, and the sisterhood. You know, Wendy, Eddie's fiance, I love Wendy. She's fantastic, and she's so sarcastic and loving, and she gives me crap about how much time I wasted with building my models, and I love her for it. But you know, it's take the time at FliteFest to go around and look at all the stuff, because that's like one of the best parts, and you make new friends.
Talk to people.
That is the best part.
Yep.
I mean, it's not just about what's going on at the flight line. Yeah, that's cool. People are flying stuff. Walk up and down through the tent sites and look at people's stuff. They've got some crazy creative stuff, and it will inspire you. I mean, it inspires me all the time.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well,
God.
If we keep talking, I'm actually going to get some stuff done here, because this is helping me focus on my
good
on my building here. Well,
In
more
other
like
words,
my cutting
as
out.
long as you guys keep talking and he doesn't have to, it even makes it better.
That well, you know, I'll chime in every now and then.
So,
Well,
Carl,
that's probably the biggest thing I'm going to miss is talking to everybody and being around everybody. You know, that's going to be the biggest problem that I have this next week, is not being there to hang out with my, and I'm just going to say family, because that's what you guys are to me, and
you know,
will always be. So,
well, I'm sure Patrick will drink a beer for you.
I'm sure he'll probably drink more than one.
Probably.
And maybe a shot of moonshine. So,
Hey. That's now you're talking.
We will definitely miss you, Mike.
Well, I'm going to miss you. Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that there's a possibility, but it's a very light one. But you know, any chance is a chance, right?
Yeah. Well, Carl, I was going to ask you, what's your favorite memory of all the flight fests you've been to?
Oh, geez. You know, the whole first FliteFest, I had never been to a big event. Obviously never been to a FliteFest because it was the first one, and I was just amazed by the people there. Not just the flying, but so I was kind of new to the flight test community at that point. I hadn't met any of you guys yet, and I was just blown away by how friendly and welcoming everybody was. I mean, the Fury family letting you sit on their yard for 4 or 5 days and fly airplane. I mean, I was just amazed. So that's like the most powerful memory, is that first one, just showing up and being blown away. From the subsequent ones, I've really liked the Gothic Gaggle and the racing, these kinds of, with the camaraderie around these special events. The Gothic Gaggle was amazing to see, all the everybody getting the plans together.
You're dropping out. Did we lose him?
I think we may have just lost Carl.
You guys hear me?
There you are.
There you go.
Oh no, sorry about that. I don't know when did I cut out for you guys.
You were talking about the Gothic Gaggle.
Yeah. So yeah, those events, the Gothic Gaggle, the air racing, those are like the highlights for me, because it's the culmination of stuff we've been talking for months and getting excited about, and then being there and doing it. I love that. So.
Yeah.
What about you, Joshua?
It's really hard. I'm sort of in the same boat with Carl. You know, the first year was a very special year. There was just a spirit about it that has never been really recaptured, I think.
Not at all.
But to say that the other years or subsequent years have been inferior would be a disservice. I've seen FliteFest from many different angles. I've seen it from the beginning. I've seen it from the volunteer perspective. I've seen it from the presenter part, and I've seen it as sort of like a celebrity part. I really felt like treated abnormally special last year when they shut down the whole flight line for the Bugatti.
That was cool.
Mhm.
But that it out of everything that I've seen, of everything that I've witnessed, the thing that I keep coming back to is that first year where I brought something really, really special to share with other people, and that was my SE5A, completely made out of dollar store foam.
Yep.
Yeah,
Detailed
beautiful.
to the nines. And then I was a volunteer, and I made a lot of friends, and I was exhausted, and I was hungry. And I feel like this year is gonna be probably my favorite year. Yes, I loved the Gotha Gaggle. You guys saw me there. I was in tears. I was just blown away by the reception of the Gotha and the idea of all these skins and all the work that everyone did building and Steven did making all the skins. And even last year, everybody having so much fun with the racing and the fantastic designs and effort that people put in. All of these are just really great memories, but I feel like the opportunity to serve is going to really be rewarding for me this year.
Cool.
As I go forth and not only serve, but share what I know.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Patrick, what about you, bud?
Oh, there are so many. I mean, I met all of you guys at FliteFest, and you guys are some of my best friends I've ever had in my life. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty sad, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Not at all.
The first year, yes, 100% agreed. There was something very magical about it, just because it was the first, and I think it was the first time that people that we knew, we knew each other from online to a certain degree, but this was the first time that we had been able to get together. And on the forum, we had talked about, this idea for, I don't know, 3-4 years at least. And then finally it came true. Volunteering has been awesome. Helping out, doing the build nights, workshops the last 2 years, helping out Josh with his hot wire cutting workshop. My favorite memories go back to things like that, like helping out Asbjorn, coming over and spending time, and Rick last year. I can tell you last year wasn't my favorite year because I had to leave early because my wife injured herself, and I hope she doesn't do that this year because I don't think I'm leaving.
She's on her own.
You're on your own, babe. The Furies, just phenomenal people, just nothing but such love and respect for them. Mm-hmm. And still consternation as to why they would allow this to happen on the property.
That's so true. It really is.
Right. What the heck's wrong with you guys? Come on, really. Look what we do to your place.
I know. Yep. We destroy it every year.
Every year. Mudfest. It's a special place to go. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This year I'm interested as being a member of the flight crew. What's that going to entail? Working 8 hours a day. What's that going to look like? I'm not going to lie and say I'm not a little bit nervous about that, but not in a bad way. I'm just I'm more like it's an unknown. then, I don't. The 8 hours a day doesn't bother me a bit, and quite frankly, I've barely ever flown when I was at FliteFest anyway. So
Yeah.
it's not like I feel like I'm missing anything, other than friends that won't be there this year, which is bumming me out, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Way to go, Mike. Way to go.
I know. Well, I'm not the only one that's not going to be there, so don't
I
blame
know.
me.
Right.
There's so many that aren't going to be there.
I know.
So you remember how you just discovered last year who Giggles was and their family?
Yep.
So that's the Knight family, and they will not be coming.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. That was such a cool family to deal with, man.
Yeah.
And we gave her that cub that we gave Giggles' little sister that cub for her. And I haven't talked to him, so I'd like to know, do you know, did they fly it or did she fly it? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So that'll make Ben Greenwald real happy. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
Ben's
so many people. So many people are just not going to be there this year. So I've tried to keep an open mind and be like, well, I'm just not going to huddle around in my tent in my own little set of groupies and, stick to myself.
Yeah.
I really want to get out of my shell and make new friends so that when you guys come back, our group is even bigger.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
because I feel like the year I was building in the tent all weekend, I didn't even get to meet Eddie.
You're a madman. My God, what is wrong with you?
I came back the next year and you guys introduced me to Eddie and Wendy, and I'm like, how did I not meet these people?
Well, you did. You just don't remember because you were in a fog. You were in a psychosis.
I was. I was so dumb to take on that, but it was fun.
Oh my God! And then flying it on Sunday, the three of us were just like, four of us were just in tears.
That was probably one of my favorite moments.
Absolutely.
And you were taking pictures the whole dumb time.
It wasn't about the flight. It was the emotion after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite because, I mean, you worked so hard and we all helped, and even though it wasn't much help, it was still taking something off of you.
I might have been a hindrance.
Well,
no, you weren't. Mike, I was absolutely ecstatic because you just kept on going on and on and on about how you weren't a builder, and I sat you down and I gave you a task to do.
He did the struts.
And you did it flawlessly.
Well, surprise, surprise. But yeah, that was probably, I mean, other than, of course, the first one. Again, like you guys said, there was something truly different about the first one. I'm not saying that any of them are any different, but that one was just something special that I don't think could ever be recreated again. And, that was a chance that I got to meet everybody that I had been talking to online and even people that I hadn't been talking to online. But I think the year you built that Sikorsky probably will always be my favorite because we did get Asbjorn back.
Yes.
And I want to say thanks to the guys that did chip in and to Jen and Josh for chipping in what they did through flight tests themselves. And that flight probably, I don't know, that one was really, really special. And I will carry that one around forever because of the bond that the four of us made while you were building that.
Yep.
You were building too.
Well, I'm just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It was just so special. And then, there's so many special moments in between. And like Pat was talking about the Furies, John and Diana, I mean, I can't give enough love to those guys. I mean, they've always been so open and I've actually created a really nice friendship with John. Because of just spending time with him. And someday I hope to be half the man that guy is.
He's something else.
I mean,
I will definitely be giving him a special hug for you.
And I appreciate that very much
because I know what those people mean to you.
They mean a bunch to me. And thankfully I call him when it's his birthday or whatever. And we talk once in a great while. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. In case nobody is aware, he did retire.
Yes.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did. So,
officially.
He officially retired. Well, I'm sure he's probably doing something, but
yeah.
Yeah, he did retire, and I know he's doing a lot of stuff with the grandkids here in the last week or so.
Awesome.
Preparing for this next week because he's not going to have a lot of time.
Right.
And he knows it, so I know he's doing a lot of that this week. And just do me a favor and make sure he knows that I am thinking about, well, not just him, but him, Diana, and the rest of them. Just let them know that my heart's out there with them, even though physically I'm not. My heart is absolutely out there with them. So,
will do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and with you guys, and you know that. So,
yeah.
But you're bumming me out, Mike. You have to.
I know. It sucks, man.
Come on, man. You got to.
You have no idea how bad.
Frequent flyer miles. Come on.
Yeah, it's more than just that, man.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
You know what? If you do show up, I'll let you sleep in my tent because you let my airplane sleep in your tent one year.
He did.
Yes, I did. I slept in my van.
In the car, so
in the car. Hey, right. Those planes were more important than my comfort at that moment.
Oh my!
That's a real friend right there, and don't you ever forget it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But again, these are the kind of moments that you go to FliteFest for, and that's why I say spend time with the people, because you won't get these great memories any other way.
Absolutely not.
I mean, I remember you, Carl, the very first year. I remember walking up and down the flight line looking for trash because we were all just very concerned that there was going to be any kind of trash, any little piece of a cigarette butt or anything laying around. And we were going up and down this half-mile long runway looking for trash, and I spot your trailer, and inside I see your Mustang. And I'm like, oh, that's a really sweet Mustang. And so I just keep on walking, and I'm picking up trash, and then I'm making my way back up the flight line. And I catch you coming in after flying something else. Maybe it was the Mustang. And we just strike up a very casual conversation. And then we never really spoke again.
Yeah, I mean, I think I poked in and said hi to you when you were building the Sikorsky.
Yeah.
But it was after that you and I really started talking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it took 2 years of us going to the same event before we really connected. And I have this fantastic appreciation and love of Carl and the work that he does. And again, it didn't happen until I really started talking with Carl. Mm-hmm. And he lives an hour away.
Yeah. We're practically neighbors in the flight test.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I know that, Josh, I met you the first year admiring that SE5A.
Meh.
He goes, meh.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I still have it. It still flies.
Oh, my God. That thing was amazing. I remember walking. Well, I mean, think about this. I mean, that's where I met Eddie and Wendy. The first time was at the first FliteFest. They actually come up, not the very next campsite, but the one right next to that. And I think he was looking for something. I don't remember what it was, and I had it and I gave it to him. And then he had a Cub that he put I don't remember what wing he put on it, but it was one of the glider type wings that that Josh or somebody had designed. And
like the Simple Soar or something like that.
I think it was like a Simple Soar or something. And I was like, man, I hope that thing flies. Next thing I know, he's out there for like 25 minutes. I was like, holy crap. It was fantastic. It was great. And of course, you know, Eddie, Wendy, and I have been friends ever since. And it just, you know, God, look at the friends I have now. I've never had this many friends and this close of friends. So
absolutely.
And the people that, if this is their first time or if it's their second time and they're not out there talking to people and out there running around, there's something wrong with them. Hell, they might as well just, like, I think Dan Cruz Dan Cruz said it. He goes, if you're going to stay there just to fly, don't even come. Just fly at your home field.
Yeah.
It's to meet people.
Right. And on that note, I mean, if you see us walking around, come up and say hi. Introduce yourself if we don't already know you. We know a lot.
Yep.
I think that's probably like the greatest excitement that I get is when someone recognizes me. And I'm just like, I'm a nobody. I'm a dorky scientist with awesome dorky kids, and I just have fun with my airplanes. And someone, I mean, I've gone to fields before. Oh, you're Joshua Orchard? I'm like, yeah, it's on my driver's license. And they get all excited and they want to talk shop with me. I'm like, okay, cool, let's talk shop. Because that's what I love to do. I love talking with people and technique and all that fun stuff. And don't ever feel like you can't approach me because I'll talk your ear off.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. After we started this podcast, the first FliteFest after we started it, Joel, Pat, and I were walking down the,
someone recognized your voice.
Vendor row, and I'm talking, and next thing you know, hey, that's Mike Finley. And I was like, how do they know that?
Do I this guy?
And I'm like, oh my God. And that was the weirdest thing because, I mean, in my industry, I'm kind of well known only because of the work that I do with all my customers, and my customers know who I am. So when I went to like a trade show, you know, people, hey Mike, how's it going? You know, I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Anything good? But to me, that's not being recognized by people I don't know. And to have people that you don't know recognize you and come up and say, oh man, it's great to meet you. And I'm like, you really don't know me very well, do you?
Yeah, you're going to regret this one day.
Yeah. Someday you're going to go, God, I wish I'd have never met that guy.
He's an ass.
But
yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Well, you never know. I may get all upset and fly out there anyway.
Hey, dude, I still don't believe that you won't be there until I'm leaving Sunday and haven't seen you.
That's a great attitude to have, Patrick. I think I might join you with that.
Please do.
It's really hard, guys. I mean, it's really hard not to even. I mean, to right now, pretty sure I'm not going. It's so hard to swallow. It really, really is. But
then don't. Come.
Yeah, well. I wish it was just that easy because I would have already planned it and, you know, been on my way.
But... I know, buddy.
Luis says, I'll pick you up at the airport. Yeah, me too. And if it was that easy, guys, you know I'd be there. And here's the worst part. I'm actually on vacation this week.
Oh.
You gotta be kidding me.
Nope.
You hate us.
Yeah, I hate you guys. Yeah, you betcha I do. Just a bad time, that's all.
No, I'm sorry, dude.
Sorry to hear that, man.
No, I know it, and I'm gonna shut up because it's just a big bummer. So, but you never know. I may get mad, and
I'm counting on it.
Ryan Pep says that if you do show up, you can have a Queen Air mattress.
Well, you know, if I end up coming out there, I'm sure I'll probably have a car of some kind because I do have some rental car that I could use.
Yeah.
So that's a perk of traveling a lot, or too much,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Too much, right?
Definitely too much, man.
Yeah. Oh my God. But
Yeah.
But yeah.
I actually get to travel in the fall for my job. It's going to be interesting.
Well, I mean, for people that don't do it all the time, it's actually exciting. I remember when I first started doing it. You know, it was fun. You got to see places that you wouldn't normally get to see, but
Somebody else pays for it.
and yeah, somebody else pays for it and all that. But it's to the point now where I hate seeing the inside of an airport. I hate seeing a hotel, and I hate seeing a print shop. I just hate it, and I hate all of it. And you know, the job itself I still like, but everything around it is just not any fun anymore.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
And
yeah, and there's some statistic out there that says the majority of people in this country are in jobs that they don't like to do, and I believe it. And I really feel like it makes or breaks a person in their life too. Because I love what I do. I would easily do this job for the rest of my life because I think it's so fun.
Well, that's awesome.
Well, that's why I've changed careers twice.
Yeah.
And now I don't have a career, I have a job, and I enjoy it.
Well, and here's the thing you guys have to remember. I mean, I'm a little bit older than you, but I started in my business when I was 16. So this is 2018. I've been doing this 38 years. So I don't know anything else, number one. That's probably my biggest problem is I really don't know anything else that I could even get close to making the salary that I make right now. Yeah. So it's hard. And then number two, you know, I am 54. I'll be 55 at the end of the year. And I don't want to get into a political discussion, but at 54, 55, it's hard for a middle-aged to, you know, starting to get older, white guy to get a good job anymore. You know, nobody wants to hire the 50-plus-year-old white guy. They just don't. So it makes it that much harder. And I feel my problem is I feel stuck where I'm at.
Yeah, trapped.
And very much so. And the worst part is the way our company is running right now. I have nowhere to go. The job that I'm doing is what I'll be doing until they get rid of me or I retire. This is it. I have nowhere to move. So Ryan Paps and Chippendales. Yeah, Dad bod is not one thing anybody wants to see.
Be amazed that there's a market for it, man.
Yeah, boy, I tell you what. Well, if they're blind, maybe, but you know.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and kind of, you know, everything going on is just I'm just stuck.
Yeah.
And I don't know what in the world to do about it.
Well, at least you know we love you.
I need a fire. I need a fire.
You mean like as an office space where they burned down the company?
I did not say that. I did not say that. So yeah, guys. So anything else we need to go over?
I don't know.
Well, the weather, we could go over the weather outlook.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, I heard you guys are actually going to have pretty good weather.
Yeah, man.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good. Like it's going to be a dry year. Number one.
So they'll have a water truck out there to knock the dust down.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's going to only be in the 80s, not even in the 90s.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So depending on how much humidity we get, you know, you're going to have to keep track of, you know, how much water you take, but, you know, you're not going to be dying.
Yeah.
And the wind actually looks to be pretty favorable. So I think this is probably going to be the best weather we've had yet at a FliteFest.
Nice. That's what I like to hear.
So obviously things can change in a week, but
Nah.
Since when has the weatherman been right about the weather?
Well,
Right. Well,
for whatever reason, they still call Ohio the Midwest, which I haven't figured out yet. But
Because it's not the East Coast.
yeah, hell of a lot closer to the East Coast than it is to the Midwest.
true.
I live in the Midwest. I don't know what in the hell they're talking about.
Avoiding calling it the Middle East. Middle East. I've always wondered the same thing. I was born in Indiana, and this isn't really the Midwest.
Yeah, I don't get it. But hey, what do I know?
Yeah.
Well, you know printing.
Yeah, well, some. Enough to be really dangerous. I've been faking it for 30 years.
They haven't caught on to you yet. You're doing good, buddy.
No.
I think that is the secret in every industry, is that nobody knows what they're doing and everyone is faking all the time.
That's right, man. I've been
Well, if I don't know what I'm doing, don't trust any of the drugs my company makes.
I've been BSing for a long time.
Well, I think I'm good. Are you?
Yeah.
What else you guys have to talk about?
I don't think I have anything else. Just looking forward to seeing everybody out there, and be safe on the flight line.
Yeah, and be safe traveling to Ohio.
Yeah. From. Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Get plenty of rest. Stay hydrated.
yes,
Sunblock.
Yeah, sunblock.
yes. Bring your SPF 50 baby formula.
Right.
That's right.
Especially you, Carl.
What's that?
Bring your SPF 8 million.
Yeah, well, I usually do the SPF 100, the shirts and the yeah. Well,
There you go. That works.
I'm definitely on the pasty white side. So
I'm right there with you, buddy.
Me too.
I don't tan. I just burn it and go straight to lobster. So.
Well, I will
And then
tan
peel.
after I burn 3 or 4 times, but it takes 3 or 4 times. Got to burn up first.
It was funny. I got all of that sun at Ceph with you, Carl.
Oh yeah.
And I came back to work, and they're like, "Wow, you got a lot of sun." And 2-3 days had gone by, and it all turned to tan. Even though I was red, it all just completely turned to tan. And so many women at meetings were just like, "I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you." I'm just like, "Hey, man, I can't help it that I won the genetic lottery for skin pigment."
That is lucky.
That is funny. But all right, guys. Well, I say we go ahead and wrap it up.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on and talking about this. I think it's going to be real important for everybody out there.
Yep.
And people that are listening, just follow the rules, guys. Keep it safe. Follow the rules. Everything will be great, and you'll have a wonderful time.
Hope so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyway, guys, have a good one, and we will talk after FliteFest and see how things go. And I look forward to seeing, if not some live streams, some photos, something during, so at least I can kind of experience it as I'm, sitting here wishing I were there.
Exactly. And I'm still thinking you're going to be there.
You're not giving up on you.
I'm not.
Well, you know what? I'll take that faith every day of the week, man.
All right, buddy.
All right, guys. Well, you take care. And to all our listeners out there, thanks for listening. I'll try to get this uploaded tomorrow. Since I am off, I should be able to get this uploaded tomorrow. And for people that did not get to listen to us live, they'll have something to listen to on the way to Ohio to FliteFest 2018. Have a good one. And as Joel would say, blue skies. We'll see you next time. Take care, guys.
Hope to see you there.
And we are.